Hey, hey, hey. Can you hear me, Bay State? Can you hear me now? Hey, you can hear me. Good. We won't have a disaster like last week, man. Been rough. Yes, sir. SE Tennessee. How are you? Jingy in the house. Cheers. Here, you're fine. Good. Thank you. Truth God, Allentown Transparency Service. Hey, what up? Regina. Here she is. That's Nico. I love my dogs. Dominic Outlaw. Not. What's that? Nato Michelle Boy. Clip joint. Thank you, sir. Sacramento in the house. Papillon, yes it is. Rat Rod Nation. No, it's a Papillon. I've had a Pomeranian too, but this is a Papillon. Regina says hi, Nico. That's all. Here's Bandit. There's Bandit. So we're gonna leave you a little tilted. I can't find my. Yeah, the ears. They're actually called French. They're a French dog, and it stands for butterfly ears. They have butterfly ears. You know, the ears. Beautiful dogs, though. All right. Yep. No kissing on you know, PG rated here, kid. We only get blocked. I got copyrighted last week. Big Bear Mountains calling the house. King Little Goon. King Little Goon. Let's see. Puppy cams. Yeah, we got puppy cams going on. Steve, how are you? I love animals too. I'm an animal rights activist along parallel to other things, but animal rights is very important to me. Eyes can't trespass. J Money. J Money. Worcester. Looks like Tuesday, but I don't want to say, but whatever. I think it's Tuesday. Oop, somebody's falling. Heading back to Cape Cod for work, of course. Yeah, to me they're almost better in some cases because they don't judge as much. They just want to love. Just want to love you. Brian King in the house. Hey, Brian. I didn't see you. I just saw you. I missed you. I like food. I do very well in the restaurant business. So, I do. I've watched Shark a lot. I like his style. He's kind of like an auditor, too. He's very, he gets in their faces. He wants to challenge it, you know? And he does it because he's really angry about what they're doing. You know, the bird shoots and all those things they do, and how these guys get all ramped up and excited about killing animals. And I see things all the time, and it really drives me crazy. And I know this isn't about animal rights, but if we have an endangered species and we have a problem with, you know, why are we letting people pay, you know, money to kill animals like that, just like as a resort? He's very, yes. Is the restaurant in New York? No. Cape Cod. I'm headed to Cape Cod this Tuesday. I'm in New York. I'm heading back to Cape Cod to cook again. Raymond, how are you? Rhode Island is definitely a place I'm definitely going to go. I keep saying I'm going to go. I'm definitely going to Rhode Island. Rhode Island has a personal a thing for me. When I was real young, I was on the streets. I lived on. You know, only a dog can get a plastic cone hanger stuck inside of his. What are you doing? I lived on the streets in Rhode Island. Central Falls, Rhode Island. I lived on, there's a park right next to the school that I went to, Central Falls High School. I'm definitely going back there. It's just, I like to go to places that have a personal sense to me, I think. Like when I went to Albany County Jail, because I've been there. And I watched some seasons go by in that jail. And I wanted to go back there to help protect or expose some of the issues or protect the inmates there. Why were you on the streets? Well, I used to speak publicly. I used to work with the police department. I know it sounds strange. Uh, I used to work with the police departments, and I used to go to schools, colleges, and share my story because I lived a very difficult childhood. Without getting into too much graphic detail, I ended up living on the streets at 12 years old, I think it was. I basically didn't have really a home life prior to that, to be honest with you. Every abuse that you could think of, all us children went through it. All of us. It's just the way it was. It was in the 60s and 70s. Batman Cast, how are you? So I ended up, just being left on the side of the road one day by who I found out was actually my biological mother. And she just said, get out. And I had to get out. I was in about 20, 30 miles from Albany, and I decided to make my way to the city. And I ended up sleeping in the laundromats and bus stations, shelters when I could make it in by, I think it was 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. You had to be there and you had to be out by 6. If you were late, that was too bad. But once in a while I'd stay there, but I lived on the streets basically. In Rhode Island too, on the park benches, literally on park benches. And that's just the way my life was. But my life, it's always a laundromat. Yeah, but it's warmer a lot of times. There aren't people there at nights a lot of times. There aren't that many people, especially in the building complexes. I notice, down in their laundry basements, there's not a lot of activity at night, so you could hide away. And that's what I did. And then it made my life richer. I ended up, going on a speaking tour kind of like thing. I did a lot of speaking engagements for a couple of years. I worked with the Colony Police Department, worked as a public relations representative for a place called Hospitality House in Albany, New York, which is a therapeutic community. Martin, how are you? What kind of camera do I use? Ooh, yeah, that's a rough one there, Brian. That's one of the reasons why I like, when people fight for homeless people. Furry Potato did something recently, and obviously there's other people, but I like people who stick up for those people too. We have one of the richest economies supposedly yet. I don't know why that was retracted. What kind of camera equipment do I use? I use a 60 times zoom Handycam. And it's just a regular Handycam. And, here's a knockoff version. This is not the one I use. This is the one that sits in my car. But you can't see the name on it or anything, so I'm not breaking any rules with the YouTube. But I rescued my Mary. How are you? So I use that, and then I keep this on as a backup. And if I don't hit this unless a police officer I feel is going to be, it's going to escalate to another level, I'll hit that, and I'll hit it. It's so quick to hit this, and boom, you can hear the little ding ding, and it's on. And that kind of protects me. If they get that one, I got this one. Obviously, third case, I'm going to go live if it's really getting escalated. Every woman in a marriage is homeless, similar to homeless military veterans who don't get paid. Marriage becomes endurement servitude. Wow. Oof. That is a rough concept of marriage, Digital. Wow. I was married. I'm divorced. I was with somebody for 10 years. 9 and a half of those years were I would say, good. Something happened on their part, and she decided to cheat. And once I found that out, it was over. But that's. Do I have any kids? Boy, you're asking a tough one there, Bay State. I do not have any kids. She had a son that was 11 months old when I met her, and he was 10 when they left. So I haven't had Jesus. I can never say this right. Jesus. You got to write that phonetically somewhere for me. Return. I mean, I think you're saying Jesus is returning. That in the Bible, I think that's how you actually would say God or Jesus. God's return. Okay, that's what I thought. I've just never seen it spelt like that. Yahweh is the way I would spell it, Y-A-W-A-H, but that's me. Tammy, how are you? You have a Papillon too? I have a Papillon and a very, very heavy set Chihuahua. Yeah, you could probably eat the Papillon. That is the right way to say it? Oh, is it? Yahweh? Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, start a fundraiser. Hey, Brian, somebody got a joke on you, Brian. Start a fundraiser for Brian DeForest. It's been 7 years. Dang, let that girl go. Aren't they both Freemasons? I don't know, and I don't get into talking about other orders like that, AJ. I think, I want to say I'm not saying anything inappropriate when I think Patrick said he was to James Freeman, but I don't know. I wasn't there. David Smith, how are you? So, that's one of you groupie trolls? Sorry. Sorry. I didn't know. Oh, Jesus is, okay, that's what I thought, and Yahweh is God, that's what I thought. Okay, I know this isn't a religious thing, so, but I just wanted to, yes, I lived on the streets, I had a tough childhood. I've mentioned before, I was born in a circus, I speak Carney, married 45 years, wow, David, that's 9 marriages on the average this day and age. But the child that I had coming into this world, that was pregnant for 4 months, is unknown to me at this time. Well, the life or death of that child. And that's going to bring me into a really negative state of mind, and I've had a tough day today again. Just some days are bad, some days are good. And 2 weeks ago, I'll be honest, I think I lost about 5 pounds. I think I was about to go crazy. But life is tough. Life is tough, man. It's not set up to be fun. You got to find the fun. You got to find it. You got to seek it out. You got to hold on to it. And I forgot about that. I forgot about the small things in life. I should never take things for granted. Yes, I did. I grew up in a carnival. I speak fluent Carney. I probably spoke Carney fluently before I ever spoke English, because the cops had to come to the house where all the Carney kids were and make them send us to school, or they were going to get arrested. They refused. They were anti-government, anti-education, anti-banking, anti-everything. My father, who was an actor in the 60s and 70s, was a terrible person. Terrible person. Very racist. Very sick, mentally, sexually. Really a sick individual. You can homeschool, but there was no homeschooling. And I don't know if you could at that time. But we're talking about a group of kids, all from different people, living in a community that when, the police drove by or whatever, it was a lot of drugs, a lot of Hell's Angels. My father hung out with a lot of Hell's Angels, a lot of this, a lot of that. Somebody reported us. Got to go to school, man. Worked for me, Mr. Raz or Harass. How are you, sir? Well, I write quotes a lot. It's all too much. It sure is sometimes, man. Noah, how are you, sir? Denmark, hey. Joe Cool. So, yeah, I mean, everybody has a different life. Everybody has different stories, but the feelings are basically the same. And I wrote a quote a while ago, and it said, don't dwell on the past, don't shut the window on the past. I don't remember. Don't dwell on the past. Don't forget to, or don't close the door on it totally. Only hearken back when necessary, or when needed. So yes, keep it open. Maddie Austin, how are you? But it's there. It's going to make you who you are. So whoever you are today, that's everything about who you are today. And we talked about I had Lyme disease. Well, I still have Lyme disease a couple weeks ago. And part of Jared Baker, how are you? Part of that is psychological. It messes with your brain and makes. And my perception was off. I was really angry, worse than normal. And I was working in the kitchen again. They're different, and I just lost my way a little bit. And that's part of growing up. Is you look at your past, you see your mistakes, you try to change them for the better. Alex, how are you? You try to change them. How are you? However you can, for the better. Terry Baker, how are you? So, people are going to say I'm crazy. People are going to say I'm an idiot. People are going to say this and that, this and that. Go right ahead. I don't care. I've given back to society partly because it benefited me as a result. I was brought up in a very unique, non-ubiquitous scenario, and I had to do something about that. It was going to kill me. Southwest Community, how are you? And what I did was I gave it away. I tried to give it away so that I can be better as an individual. And I think I am better off as one. A lot of work still to go. And the day that I stop trying, the day I stop getting better, is the day that you should really start digging that grave for me. So I'm the Keystone Guardian. How are you? We've been called everything too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really mind. The only time I mind, and I'll be honest, and all you trolls out there, if you want to say something, say whatever, say whatever. I don't care if you can threaten me, okay? You can threaten me, okay? And they have. But don't take up 10 comments and because now you're unnecessary. You can get it all in 1 or 2 comments. Don't keep going back and to try to spam my channel. That's what you're doing at that point. You're trying to get like 20 negative comments. And I have had people actually put 10 negative comments in a row on one video. I'm going to block you. That's the only time I'm going to block you. I don't delete messages. I stopped doing it a long time ago. I don't delete messages. But I will block you if you're going to spam me. That was one of the things I was going to talk about today. One of the first topics was the methodology of what we do and how we do it and why we do it, right? One thing that Goober Pile, I have a Gomer Pile, all right? Somebody's older, Goober Pile. Somebody knows about Gomer. And that's true. That's very true, Raz. Whatever you do, it doesn't matter. If you say to if a troll says to you, "Oh, prove it. You didn't go to any court cases. You never won crap." Oh, there's a bee in here. Get out! Oh, son of a... I got bit by 6 hornets the other day. I'm on high alert with bees, man. Oh, come on, seriously? What was I talking about now? So if a princess and pirate, mood pictures, how are you? So if you do whatever they're gonna say, prove it, you then come back and you prove it, right? You show them, here's the docket numbers, right? And then what do they say? Oh, those are fake. You go out, you're aggressive on an audit. Just maybe you're having that kind of a day. Oh, you're too aggressive. In the same comment section where you're too aggressive, you'll see you weren't aggressive enough. Excuse me. I've had people call me a drug addict, even though I've volunteered for many years on the intervention and prevention of drug abuse. They've called me, it's too many things to even, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Steve Pinder, how are you, sir? Steve, we gotta make you a moderator. Steve's got a wrench. All right. Jeff is here. How are you, sir? So it doesn't matter. I'll say this again. I almost say this every week, it seems like. It doesn't matter what they say. They're only trying to manipulate you, to take you down, to make you feel less than an auditor or whatever principal thing you were doing. I am heading towards Boston, yes. So don't let it bother you. Because what did you get on the channel for? What did you come here for, people? What did you come here for? Did you come here to be concerned about how people felt about you? Because you knew coming into this that a lot of people don't like people who question the police. You know, we all know Fall River is where I plan on moving. It doesn't matter. They don't matter. What matters is why you came here, why you started this channel, why you started auditing. Because we know you didn't start to get rich. Because you know, and I know, you don't make any money. You do it all for the nookie. Who gave that guy a wrench? I came here to help fix a mess. That is exactly it, Steve. I saw a mess. I saw a huge problem. And then it smacked me right in my own face. And I've talked about that about almost every week. By the way, this is actually the 20th week, even though it's 19, because last week the music in the background got the video flagged. Again, maybe if you're at that level, but you know, I don't know how long it takes you to get to that level, but you know, I'm sure people can tell you that at 15, 20,000 subs, 5,000 subs, 10, you might make some money for gas. You're not going to be able to buy no GoPro, you know, unless it's used or, you know, well, maybe that $15 one that guy mentioned on one of my videos. So you can buy a GoPro for $15. I said, where? Yeah, background music, you cannot. There's a lot of things that will set your video, especially live videos. Graham Goodtard, how are you? Copyrighted music is huge for YouTube. It was that song, Everybody, Everybody. It was just playing in the background. It wasn't even me. It was just on the DJ setup. And hey, Steve Pinner, if Brian pisses you off, let me know, I'll block him. Oh, wait a minute, you got a wrench, you can block Brian. Oh, man. No, not Black Eyed Peas. The old one, old one. Everybody was, not Mikey Mark, it was CNC Music Factory, I think. I can't remember, to be honest with you. The music that you can use is either in a program that is purchased by that program, which is the music I use in my videos. YouTube has a list of them, a bunch of them that you can use. Eric, how are you? We don't want to know about that, Steve, unless you have pictures. But you got to be careful because some of them are linked up. Like they'll say, okay, yeah, if it's AC/DC, there's a couple of things. Freedom to Film, how are you, sir? But then the other ones, you know, I didn't know. I didn't know that was, I figured it was an old one too. I figured I'm safe. Like anything new, you're in real big trouble if you want to try to throw something out there. Black Box, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know, right? Jeff got knocked off what? Oh, got knocked off the live the other night playing music. Was he playing music as a cover, or was he playing music in the background? That's when you get copyrighted. That's their music. If you purchase a song for $1.99, no, you don't have copyright privileges when you buy that off of like a site. You only have the ability to play it back and listen to it. You don't even have permission to sell that or to let somebody else have it anymore. Okay? 70s ruled, yeah, they did. Not just for disco, but what about funk? And what about rock and roll? You know, Southern rock and roll became huge in the 70s. There was a question here. I want to get to the... controlled substances, which is the government. Why does state law require an ID at the pharmacy for controlled substance, which the government requiring an ID violates the Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendments? Okay. Janine 5, how are you? I don't have to show my ID all the time when I'm picking up a prescription. However, I do know that some people have, especially if it's your first time. And I think that that's because the pharmacists are handing out a drug and they want to make sure that somebody's not there to steal your medicine. I think that's why. I don't think it's for like, although they do arrest people for like doctor shopping and stuff like that. The auditors that I watch, I watch them all. I really do. I don't have like, I don't know. I watch them all. I mean, hey, Carolina Auditor. Keith. Yeah, it makes people laugh. It used to make people sweat back in the day. That's how much they liked it. Gilbert, how are you? So the methodology, you know, the comments, Southwest Community News. Take it easy, buddy. You know, I said it last week. It kind of got cut off. I wanted to say it again. It's your channel. It's your way to show what you ever want to show. If you're having a bad day that day and you don't want to do something, don't do it. You know, last audit that second to last audit I did, I think, was in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. And at the first juncture, I gave somebody the silent treatment. I didn't say anything to him. I gave him the silent treatment just to see how it went. I don't usually do that, obviously. And he just walked away. Now, I felt like doing that spontaneously. Some people want to, you know, say, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, whatever. The methodology, as long as your intent is pure, if your intent is pure, it'll work its way out. People say, why are you so angry all the time in your videos? I was still angry. We say, well, the last 2 or 3, you've been kind of calm and cool. Seems like you're doing a lot better. That's because I'm not as angry. There's other things in my mind that got me focused and that's more important, right? But I can't be somebody I'm not. That's who I was. And that may be who I am tomorrow. But that's not who I am today. Today, I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying to get rid of all anger in my life. I'm trying to get rid of all anger. Because I look like I aged 5 to 10 years over just the last 3 weeks. I can see it in my face. I get angry, man. When life treats me wrong, I want to be angry about it, you know? And anger is a luxury most of us cannot afford. Citizen drank. Yes, I do. You offering? Was that an offer? I don't know. Was that an offer? I do try to be a good person every day. And I fail miserably. But I am sure you guys have heard. Yeah, I hear you, Joe. Me too. I'm working on it. You know, you gotta shoot for the moon. And if you come up short, at least you're amongst the stars, right? Always shoot for the moon. Come up short, you're still good, man. Mozart, how are you? Thanks for checking in, buddy. Truth, when you film in a good mood, you are top-notch and sharp as a tech. When you're in a bad mood, I tell at the phone. No, yeah. Well, just put on a wig, citizen. Yeah, I mean, I'm working. I mean, I'm getting better. That's all I can say. You know, I really hated when people say, yeah, that's a good one. You never failed. That's right. You got to try. You got to be in the process. You know, so I'm not going to continue that path, though, if I know it's self-destructive, and it has been. I'm going to change. And in order to change, in some people's eyes, it's got to be proof is in the pudding. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I hope, and I'm glad that people have noticed that in my last couple videos. I'm letting them get angry, not me. And I'm just sitting back going, why so angry? You mad, bro? You mad, bro? You mad, bro? Yeah, they do. Unfortunately, I've been told by a bunch of police officers as I'm walking up in some cases, oh, your reputation precedes you. We know who you are. Crap. Gotta pick some new areas. Yeah, I always beat up on myself because I want to get better. Do some more angry audits if they deserve it. If they deserve it, yeah. You know, but what I'm saying is I was outmatching it. They didn't deserve it, and I was already there. That's me. That was me. Yeah, well, and I don't judge other people, because if that's where they are, hey Robert, if that's where they are, that's where they need to be until they figure it out, or they get their channel shut down, or you know, they just give up. You know, they're tired of the criticism. They're not getting anything back out of it. You know, everything is a process, not an event. We have to be in the process to get there. Don't give up. That's why I could not. They wanted me to be a police officer in Albany. I was actually more worried about the mundane, boring part of the job, because that's what I was told from the police officer. The girl I was dating with at the time, her father was a former police officer who was fired after 26 years for taking money. And 6 other people went down with him. Yeah. He was around for a long time. So even back then, I knew, you know, there's a problem, man. All that boredom, driving around. And then what happens? That 5 minutes of excitement, boom. That's why they get in accidents. That's why they go so gung-ho, even though the guy pulled over, got his arms all stretched out, they chased him, he gets out, his arms, and they beat him up almost 10 out of 10 times. All right, the guy, yeah, he gave you a chase. Okay, now he's surrendered, but their adrenaline is so much on tilt, they can't help it. Literally. Whitney Smith, how are you? Northwest Georgia. They will not pull it back. Jake the Muss, how are you? Pennsylvania, pen in the house. Matthew Phelps, you a swimmer too? West Springfield, Mass. I used to work for Chili's in West Springfield. I was a manager for Chili's restaurants in West Springfield. Lightning Dave, how are you? So, methodology. You're right where you're supposed to be. That's what I said last week, and it got Oregon Rogue. Right where you're supposed to be. Don't forget that. You're right where you're supposed to be. Keep your principles in check. Lock and loaded, 007. You know, keep your principles in check. That's too bad. And the process will take place. As long as you got the principles, the morals, the values, the passion, you're going to need a lot of humility. A lot of humility, because you're going to get beat up a lot by people who don't like what we do. Not just cops. All the trolls are not just cops. They're not. A lot of trolls are just people. You know, there's a lot of sheep out there, man. I said it, I don't know how many weeks ago, but you got to figure there's about 300 million people in the United States of America, right? 3% of our society at the time was in favor of the Boston tea dumpage there. Timmy, how are you? 3%. It's the small amount that make the greatest impact. Do you know why? Well, it's because of the numbers. There's a small amount, and then there's so many more, right? So you can make such a bigger impact. Now, if you had a larger amount, obviously you're not going to make as percentage-wise as much of an impact. So 3% of 300 million, right? Let's say 3 million, just for the ha-has. How many auditors are there? 500, 400? How many auditors, really, genuine auditors, do you see out there? Okay. And yeah, there's probably a portion of society that agrees with us, but doesn't want to do audits. I don't think it's 3 million. I think we've got a long ways to go. I've said it before, people criticize me for saying it. I didn't mean it that way, but I think we're at the beginning of this. We're not. This, to me, it's not been around forever. We're at the beginning where it's just starting to get into the mainstream society. And there's a lot of criticism in the beginning and the inception. We got a lot of work to do, folks. That's why I also say any awareness is good awareness. There's too many people that don't know, too many sheep. I don't know who you're talking about there. The party for auditors has just begun. You know, there's a huge, for some reason, the trend for this auditing thing on YouTube is one of the fastest growing platforms. Why is that? Why is this, what we do, one of the fastest growing platforms? Yeah, the other ones have been saturated, sure. That's very true. But the cosmetology thing isn't growing as fast anymore. The news side isn't growing as fast anymore. You got all these other things, but for some reason, cop blocking is. It's more of a reality show. That's for sure. Granite State, due to legal reasons with her child, needs to take time off. From what I'm told, she's also not married anymore. So that's the update on her. Ian is still inside. And can't remember who else I was updating you guys on. It was basically 3 people I was trying to update you guys on. So that's what I think about our methodology, and wherever you think you are, just, Jason, how are you? Annulment. Who got an annulment? I don't know. I don't know the particulars. I just know somebody that knows her. I know her, but I don't know her that well. He's been released from jail in Denver, Colorado for a false charge. Is that one of the, wait a minute, if it's a false charge, he should be able to, Mega Meaty, he should be able to file a lawsuit on that. It has to be a concrete charge, or that new Supreme Court law does not take effect. So, and yes, I do believe in God. That's me personally. I don't expect anybody else to. I see a lot of God talking here. I don't. Okay, I'll be there. I don't want to see that twerking video. I do not want to see Steve Pinder twerking or doing anything. Hell no. Hell no. Trying to ruin my life. So, methodology was 1. Where's my notes? Dagnabbit. All my recipes. Can you see? All my scribble. It's in here somewhere. Steve Pinder and Brian King both need support. Make sure you guys check out their channels. Jeff is here, is also a new auditor. Whitney Smith, thank you. Papillon's in the back. Safety Man, how are you? The Bible it can be fake, but that doesn't mean, well, you be the judge. I don't want to argue with people about religion. That's not what I'm here for. The Waz, how are you? How are you, sir? Check out, man, where'd he go? Bay State Accountability, Carolina Auditor. Some people that have, I think, expressed some need for support. All right, let's see here. I had this all prepared. Anybody remember the notes or the things we're supposed to talk about today? I don't. Somebody didn't write them down the right place. Good thing this is live and we can do whatever we want, right? I'm not breaking any rules here so far. The other thing is underage kids on the videos. Underage kids on videos, the music on videos, swearing. You can say certain swear words in, like, by the FCC, and they approve some of them that even bypass that. But yeah, you say certain other words, and they don't like it. Jeff is here, audits. He changed his name a little bit. You shortened it up there a little bit? I see. Well, I can't find it. I feel like an idiot. I did write down the agenda, and now I can't find it. Well, I will share this with you. Court Monday. Yeah, I have court on Monday for the ticket that I received at the prison. And I have no fear in my heart or my mind. No fear. The prosecutor has met his match in a wits game. He's kind of a tool. I noticed that right away. So I don't care. He's a tool. We're going to hold him accountable. So Monday, court for the I don't know what it was. Harassment. It's like a harassment charge. 2nd degree. The other ticket that I got that you guys may have seen, the long video where the cop was following me around and he come out and I started calling them scumbags and all that stuff. The trooper who tried to push the ticket in here, tried to stick it in here, and it fell out and it blew in the breeze. And I literally caught it on camera. Never submitted to the court. Did you hear that? I did not touch or take that ticket because I knew it was just harassment. It was just a retaliation thing. It was too obvious for me. And I said, and I don't usually do this, and I said there in the video, I said, I'm not taking that ticket. And I didn't take it. And what happened? No ticket. No ticket. And I found out, and this is going to sound really stupid, that ticket is $235 or something in court if you plead guilty to it. For walking. There's a sidewalk right there. It's right there. I can see the sidewalk from here. I'm coming from behind a business. It wasn't like I was walking on the road. I mean, walking just up and down a road. I was at a business, going from one business to another business. One entrance to the other entrance, where there was a sidewalk. And he littered, that's right, Maddie. Yeah. Then he went and had a threesome with his two bootlickers. I made sure he got the KY jelly at the end. Don't forget your KY jelly. Hey, if you think for a second that the police officers, for some reason, because they do this day in and day out, know more about the law than you do, if you're actually in this bit and you got this part locked down, trust me, my last video, I went up and I said to what I thought was the dispatch, I said, hey, you got a big picture of marijuana in there. I thought in Connecticut, I was in Connecticut this past week. I thought that's decriminalized. Why are you still, propagandizing and trying to make people afraid? And then she said, well, I'm not really sure. What? I can look it up for you. Oh, okay, you're just a dispatch. I'm sorry. No, I'm a police. I'm a sergeant. You're a sergeant? And she was very professional. And that was a good audit. It was a pass. But they don't know the law. In my opinion, they use the law, 69, Mammy, 95, however. If they knew the law concrete, let's say, I believe we would have a lot less problems here. Now, they still need a personality, but I believe they use the law with their emotions, and sometimes they're so out of line. That's where we need to be able to retaliate financially. I've never condoned violence, and I never will. I don't believe anybody should ever put their hands on anybody for any reason. I mean, how many times do we see police officers putting a traffic stop, selling a cigarette, just not answering your question, just trying to protect the Constitution by saying, no, I don't want to answer that question. Whatever you're doing, it's a simple traffic stop, not using your directional. You end up dead. Dead. Seriously? You end up dead? How does that happen? And it happens because 9 times out of 10, it's not the person. It's the professional, the supposable professional, who doesn't know how to be professional. That's not violence to me. I condone doing violence in self-defense. That's not violence. That's self-defense. That's self-defense. That's not violence. Yeah, I got into a nice conversation with Gavin online the other day. And I'll share it with you because it's kind of what we're talking about a little bit. And he was talking about getting rid of all the police officers and all the institutions. And I said, no, that's insane. You'd end up with, like back in the 1800s, 1700s, we'd have all these fragmented parts of the country where it would be like whoever had the most money would just dictate that area. Voluntarism will not work on a global, on a scale like this, 300 million. It's not going to work. There's too many crazy people out there, man. I've always said, it's not that we don't need the police. We just need them to do better. We need them to get better trained. We need them to be more professional. We need them to be able to walk up to somebody and have that person look at them right in their face and say, scumbag! And we need that police officer to be able to walk away without his pride or ego getting hurt. Hi, Freedom to Film. He has to be able to bounce that off. If you're a professional in the restaurant business, and I've been in front of some people, man, I know you didn't take a shower in 2 weeks, buddy. I know it. I know it. And you're complaining about the cherry and the cherries on the cheesecake, and even though it's all gone, You saved one cherry and you want your money back? And you're screaming at me, calling me names? I had a guy, a cop, off-duty cop one time in a Denny's restaurant, grab my tie and pull it down and choke it, rip my tie and pull me down to the table because he was drunk. And you know what I did? Nothing. I walked away. Yeah. You know, you have to be professional. If you take that job and you want to carry the ability to impede others' freedoms, whatever it is, their constitutional things, their freedom. Woods Wanderer. Woods Wanderer. And if you want to do that, if you want to make six figures as a state cop or whatever, you need to be professional. Let go of the ego, man. If you got into that as a police officer, Dan Formos, how are you? Did I know? I've never boxed in my life. No, I've never boxed. Well, I mean, I boxed when I was, I had to. Self-defense in jail. You need to be professional police officers. Please, please, please. I would not be here. All these people in here, all these guys would not be here. We would be talking about that stuff if you did your jobs right. It's that simple. Oh, now you got me. Urban Miner. Okay, Woods Wanderer. Yeah, that's a good name for you, yeah. You should be like coin auditor or Coinstar auditor or something because you're always pulling out coins out of the ground. You got it, Dan. That's the way it is, man. Be professional, guys. Don't go out and put on that badge, put on a gun and get your little lights going and thinking you're going to be a CIA agent for the day. You're not. Basically, you're a profit center. Unfortunately, when we start talking about these systems within our government, systems being dictated and predicated by cost, like a profit and loss statement, to me, that makes every car and the person behind it, their salary, now a dollar sign. They have to justify that state of affairs. They have to. So it says state police on those vehicles, but it's actually police state. And they want your money. Why do you think sometimes they're going to come over and give you 3 tickets? Wait a minute, I thought only you did one thing wrong. To try to ensure when you make a plea deal with a prosecutor that one would stick. That's a lot of times why it is. They got to make money, man. They have to justify it. They don't get enough grants. They get grants. They get surplus from the government, military vehicles, guns. They got to make money. City council is going to now say, whoa, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am, you're out. Get a new sheriff, get a new this, get a new that. Really? Politics and money do not belong in any supposable moral structure. Louis, how are you, sir? Thank you. Man in black. You know what I'm saying? How do you have that in a moral sense? You don't. You can't. So that tells me that every day, every single time, these guys go out and write a ticket for something, it's not right, man. They're not doing it for the right reasons. Now, if you felt really somebody's a danger to society, doing 120 miles an hour in a 30-mile zone near a school, whatever. But other than that, you're just making money for people, man. That's all you're doing. You're justifying yourself. And all the police officers that are no longer police officers that came out and said, yeah, there's quotas. Don't let them fool you. They said they got rid of the quotas. They didn't get rid of quotas. We've had police officers come out and say, ignorant pleb, how are you? Come out and say that they were done with their shift. And the sergeant came over and said, hey, you didn't write enough tickets. Get your ass back out there. But I'm off. I don't care. Get out there and write more tickets. You're not going home yet. And what does a cop do? Puts his tail between his legs. Wants to keep that 6-figure job. Goes back out there, extorts some more money from people. And I'm not even talking about all the cases like the cops have been planting evidence down in Florida that got jammed, that 2 years worth of people getting lady 6 months in jail with a kid being planted evidence for years. How many of those have you heard about? How many of those haven't you heard about? You know, does everybody remember the police officer named Serpico? Everybody see that movie, Serpico? Everybody see what happened to him when he started to talk? That still happens today. Very much so. I watched a video a couple months ago. A police officer pulled over another police officer in the car. And he was in his marked car. She's in her marked car. Pulled him over. Gave him a ticket. Yelled at him. You know what happened? She's depressed, off the force. They jammed her up, did all kinds of crap to her. I don't know. What happened to Amanda? I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to Amanda. I can't even say that. You know, that's just sick stuff, man. We need more Serpicos. Because the police officers that have they're genuinely wanted to do something for society and be a good person. They idolize police. That was what they wanted to do since they were a kid. You know, they want to be a fireman, a police officer, whatever. If they go into that precinct, barracks, whatever you want to call it, and they don't hold the other police officers accountable, well, you're really not making that much of a significant difference. You're kind of just being status quo. Geronimo! Yeah, and if you ever touch a cop, that's the other thing, hypocrisy. How many times you see cops speeding? I have not only filmed it, I actually successfully pulled over a Homeland Security cop in uniform in his vehicle. And he put on his lights and stopped the traffic on the highway. Really? Hey, Lori G. Lori G's been doing some artwork for a bunch of auditors out there, guys. She sent me something I thought was kind of cool for Knowing the Truth. I know she's helping out other auditors. So if you need something done, try to help her, compensate her somehow. I don't know if she has a GoFundMe set up or anything like that. Terry stops. Yeah, you know, that to me, that should, you know, that whole 100 miles within the, you know, the Patriot Act has really eroded our jokes on you. Hey, how are you? For Cali, back from Cali. You know, the Patriot Act has really like slapped us in the face with our Constitution. And if I had to say I'm anything, I would say I'm a constitutionalist. That's what I believe I am. I'm a pragmatic guy. Let's keep it simple. If you want to, James Barnes, give you a wrench there, James. If you, Richie's, how are you? Teflon Iron, Dolphins. Logo custom graphics. That's how I should say it. Sorry about that, Lori. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. We let fear beat us from the beginning. And it started from the top and down. You know, I would say that most Americans probably just wanted to say, screw it, let's go fight. I don't think most Americans said, screw it, let's get rid of our Constitution. I don't think they said that. Hey, Pio Froding, how are you? They didn't say that, but that's what happened. Oh, you're watching which one? Which one, James? I put up like 3 this week, 3 or 4 this week already. Black Label has changed his channel too. Dagnabbit, I forgot the name of it again. Somebody wants to put Black Label's new channel up. That's cool. And yes, Whitney, very good point too. If you don't think that police officers are emotional and that they're not going to do those things, you're wrong. Just watch some of my videos when you look at the retaliation aspect of it. You touch a cop the way a cop touches you, you're dead. I go in, I hold a police officer accountable verbally, and then I leave. Everything seems fine, and then I get followed for quite a while. I mean, they stalked the crap out of me. Dead serious. They really stalking the crap out of me. You have to fight. I have to fight. I go into the woods. I end up walking for another hour just to get back to my car sometimes. And I parked my car. I'm usually not alone, but I parked my car like a mile away last time, near the airport, and I was at the police station, which is about a mile away, in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Yes, James Barnes is here. Fire department one? I didn't do a fire department one. Oh, you're seeing the Windsor Locks ones now, where I walk to the fire department first, right? But now I'm going to go into the police station. Yeah. They hate Americans? yeah, and they're American. Oh, man. Do I ever get scared? That's a good question. Not for myself. When I get into that zone, that's what Windsor Locks and Enfield are kind of the same. I lived in that area too, Granby. But when I'm in that zone, I don't know. I'm focused, man. Focused. It's like I can be real calm and cool, and then when something sets me off or something brings my awareness up, I'm like, boom, and I just go right there. I think I got that from being a manager in a restaurant business, because you're really calm and collect, but then an employee does something you have to hold accountable. You don't have a lot of time to say, hey, whoa, and back to work. Make sure he doesn't feel bad, but you're back to work. And that is an internal strength, and not a lot of people have that. And I wouldn't want people to ever emulate something that they don't want to do, that makes them afraid. Don't do it. Please don't do it. It's not right. It's gonna mess you up. You're gonna get jammed up. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Be yourself. I said that about 5 times last week and about 5 times the week before. To thine own self be true. Be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself, and you'll be good, man. And keep fighting. Keep fighting the fight, man. And knowledge is power, and knowledge will take away some of that fear. That's right, James. So yes, every time I go into a new state, when I went to Vermont, if I'm going to wherever, I'm going to check out the laws. They might be different. And I don't want to get jammed up. There is an adrenaline rush when stuff starts to go down. You'll see you'll see 5 cops come out of nowhere sometimes. Like, whoa, where'd all these guys come from? You got to be ready to step up. If you don't step up, sometimes you're going to be taken down. And we've all seen the videos. I have to say that overall, Furry Potato got shot once, but I haven't seen a lot of people really getting, SJGVTV. He gets knocked around quite a bit, but he goes there with it. You know what I mean? He's ready for it. Not a lot of people are getting murdered. Let's say, cops are not taking out their guns and shooting auditors. Let's say. I'm grateful for that. I am. Some Carney? What do you want me to say in Carney? Tell me what to say in Carney and I'll say it. How much does it cost to be arrested illegally? Not a damn dime. It's free of charge. Compliments in the United States government. And they'll even tip you when you're in jail. Give you a nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yep. Three hots in a cot. Yep. So it's free of charge. So it's been over an hour. I don't like to 6 minutes over an hour. I don't like to go over an hour. I'm sorry, guys. I'll sign off. I'll say some Carney when I sign off. How's that? E is I, re is easy, Ezect, Yezu, E is all. Yezu, he is Av, E is A, Gri is 8, we again. E is I, Eli is of, Yezu. I love you guys all. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. That's basically what I said. All right? Tyrone from New England Truth, number 19. Agree to disagree. Folks, thanks for checking in. Talk to you soon.